Good evening, everybody, and welcome again to the Borderline Podcast with me, your host, Andrew Willix. I've got another great guest on for you tonight, guys. I've got an Andy's Man Club facilitator from Berwick upon Tweed, who is Kev Bolton, who's very fortunately given me and you a bit of his time tonight to come on and talk, obviously, a little bit about Andy's Man Club, his history, and what we can expect eventually, obviously, in IMO coming this year. So I'll just start you off, Kev. Obviously, for the listeners and that, could you just tell me a little bit about yourself, your history, and obviously how you got into Andy's Man Club and whatnot, mate?
Yeah, no problem at all. First off, thank you very much for inviting me along.
No problem.
It's an absolute pleasure. I've listened to your podcasts over the last few months and very good, very good.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, so I got into Andy's Man Club a little bit by accident, I suppose. For a number of years now, I've suffered with various levels of depression, anxiety, stress. Probably for about most of my adult life, to be honest, but really badly over the last 20 years. And the way it was driving me was it affected my decisions I was making in life. And it kind of got to a position where I needed to reach out and get some help.
Yeah.
So the first thing I'd done was, which was probably about 10, 12 years ago now, maybe a bit longer than that, I went to my doctor to just say I was in a really low place, low mood, and kind of got the usual response. Is everything okay? Is there anything you want to talk about? Is there anything I can do for you? And the usual, can I offer you some antidepressants? I've never been an advocate for antidepressants. Yep. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying that, just not for me.
Yeah.
So at that time, I got put through a short sort of period of counselling, which did help. Yeah. Which did help. Got us into a better place, and on I went. My moods kind of drive up and down. If I'm up, I'm really up. If I'm down, I'm really down. And it's very noticeable to my family and friends when I'm down. And I'll just jump forward quickly, but I'll go back. Just before Christmas, I was quite down, just through various situations. And actually, the facilitators at Andy's reached out and said, "Kev, are you okay? Because we can see you're not doing your normal stuff."
Wow.
So that's where we're at. So going back to where I was, just really high moods, low moods, and something just not quite right, not understanding what's going on. Got to quite a bad position about 2016, 2017, this time of year. I work up at Torness, so I was driving home one night and in a really low mood, really probably the lowest I've been. Pulled into a lay-by because I really didn't feel like driving. Didn't feel like speaking to anybody. Didn't feel like going home to an empty house, and stuff like that. And obviously the thoughts start in your head, the dark thoughts start, the low mood got lower to such a position I didn't really see of what I could do, if that makes sense to you. I couldn't. I just didn't understand what was going on. The mood it was the lowest I've ever felt. And I've talked to my daughter about this just recently, my oldest daughter, Alice. My phone rang. So at the time, my daughter was down in York at university. And she just rang us just on the off chance. Yeah. And she said, "All right, Dad, how are you doing?" And you just can't say, "I'm sitting in a lay-by, cry my eyes out here." Yeah. So I just carried on as normal and just, "I'm fine, blah, blah, blah." And she said to us, "Dad, I'll see you soon, love you." And that kind of just tricked something into us, just triggered something into my life. So from that, I did drive home, had a cup of tea, went to bed. And from that, I kind of say that's the sort of threshold when things change for us. Yeah. Alice will take great delight in that because she'll say it's up to her. But
right.
But so I work, like I say, I work at Torness, and I work for EDF up in Torness, and they've got a fantastic employee support network. So the first thing I did was go to work and say, look, I'm not in the right position. You know, there's something going on, and I need some help. And I don't know if you know about Torness, but it's got a medical facility there.
Oh, right, okay.
They've got nurses, and they've got everything you can imagine that's sitting behind it.
Wow, okay, I didn't know that.
So they suggested that I go for some more counselling, which Torness EDF paid for up at Edinburgh, the Keel Centre, which was great. Very powerful counselling, talking to you about how you feel, why you feel like you do, what are the triggers for how you feel, and what do I do to get out of them moods. And that was the thing for me, because I didn't have anything to get out of them moods. That was the issue. I knew the triggers, I knew when my mood was coming, I knew when it would drop, but I just didn't understand how to jump out of it. So they gave us a few sort of tools and a few sort of tricks to get us there, and I still use them to this day. And then sort of ups and downs over there, from 2017 up until about 2019, use these tools to get us to where I need to be and to put us in a better place. But I still understood that I had this compulsion to drop into a really dark place. But and then a guy who works at Torness, he doesn't work there anymore now, started posting these Andy's Man Club posts on Facebook, and at that time I didn't know what they were, I didn't know what it was about, and because he lives up in just past Dunbar, and I just thought it was a club in Dunbar which guys go to. But I followed them because it was a guy I worked with, blah blah blah. And then I'd done a little bit of research, and I'd seen it was more of a nationwide thing. There was groups everywhere. Done a bit of research for them, and thought, this might be something that would be good for Berwick. And excuse me, I'll just take a drink.
Yeah, of course,
But obviously with Berwick, much like Eyemouth, we're quite isolated.
Yeah, of course.
And I never thought Andy's would come into Berwick. So fast forward to 2020, I was in a position, again, a bit of a low mood, when I got offered the chance to be a facilitator at or to learn about being a facilitator at a charity group. And at that time I didn't realise it was Andy's.
Right, okay, okay.
And I turned it down,
right?
Because I wasn't in the position to say yes, because I just wasn't in that position. Jump forward a couple of months to in fact I'm a year out, it was 2021, sorry. So in 2022 January time, I seen an advert for Andy's Man Club Berwick upon Tweed. I went, oh wow, here we go. So it's starting in Berwick. So I went along on the first night. It was in February of 2022. What we celebrate our second anniversary in a couple of weeks' time.
Really?
So it was about this time 2 years ago. I was sitting thinking, am I going to go? Am I not going to go? And I went. Didn't know what to expect. Didn't know who would be there. Didn't know the format. I just knew that I wanted to see what it was about. And it was at that time. It was in the Northern View, which is, for people in Berwick, it's the old Jubilee Centre up at Highcliffe. So, which is bizarre because when I was a child, I lived in Highcliffe, and I spent a lot of my childhood in that sort of, it was like a community club.
The universe brings you back.
It was like weird. So on a Sunday, they used to show movies in the room where we was in. In fact, we showed England's World Cup win, which I know you'll probably know. We don't want to talk about.
Another side of the border, Kev.
But yeah, it was just really walking through that door thinking, oh my God, I used to come here when I was a kid, and it was just memories start coming back. And the first guy I seen in the room was a guy called David Hattle, affectionately known as Hattie around the town. A guy I've known most of my life, in different guises. I've been to gigs with him, I've stood in the pub with him, blah, 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 and I didn't expect him to be there. And I went, oh, right, okay. And he was he was the first facilitator I seen. The second guy I seen was a guy called John Ritchie, who's an eye mouth guy, who hadn't met before. Probably seen him going about, but just never met him. So took part in the group. They welcomed me involved us in the group. There was 6 people there that first night, 2 facilitators, myself, Mike, who I'll talk about in a second, and another couple of guys. And got introduced to the format, and it was very simple.
Yeah,
Easy, sitting around, introducing yourself, and then 5 questions. And from that night, just something just kind of woke, and maybe it sounds a bit dramatic, something kind of awoke in us.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Where the strength of sitting in a group of guys.
The unity.
Yeah, the unity, but also guys who you know from a different part of your life, who you wouldn't expect to be sitting there, but also guys who you've never met before. But by 9 o'clock, you're thinking, Jesus, here we go.
Yeah, it's so pure, that release.
It was a phenomenal experience, I'll be honest with you. From there, it's kind of grew and grew. The club in Berwick took off really quickly, and John and David Hattie needed support as a facilitator. So I put my hand up and said, look, I'm interested. I don't know if I'm the right character, I don't know if I'm the right person, but I'd be interested. And also the guy I spoke to earlier, Mike, one of the first guys through the door with me on that first night, put his hand up and said, I'll be facilitator too.
Wow.
So we went to 4 facilitators. So, and from there, it's went crazy.
Yeah, it's insane how big it's gotten. We've now got, 8 facilitators in Berwick. So Hattie, as I've said, John, Mike, myself, David Langley, Gary Greenaway, John Allen, who's a relatively new facilitator. He's just came out his training, and Daryl. And we need these facilitators because we're getting between 20 and 30 guys every Monday night walking through that door. Wow,
and you need
big.
It's big.
Yeah.
So we went. So as we grew, we had to go from the Northern View, and I'd like to take the time now to say thank you to the Northern View, because I didn't really have the time because we kind of jumped on. So for what they've done for Andy's was phenomenal. We then went to Wallace Green in Berwick, which for old money is the old ambulance station in Berwick up at Wallace Green. That's converted into a community centre now.
Okay, yep.
But again, that was too small. We kept growing, and now we are in Shieldfield Park home at Berwick Rangers.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's just incredible, isn't it?
Which it is. Yeah. Andy's in Scotland. Andy's Man Club in Scotland kind of tie into the football side of it, because that's the demographic we're looking at. Yeah, guys of an age who, guys like me.
Just your simplify it down, the average Joes.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, an everyday guy.
Yeah,
and Berwick Rangers couldn't have been better on getting us there. They wanted us there. We wanted to go there. The facility's perfect. 2 big rooms with a third round down the stairs if we need to use it.
Wow, yeah.
And just comfortable, warm, and the most important thing is it's not isolated, but it's away. So for people who feel a bit vulnerable about walking into a situation like that, when there's buildings around it, there's eyes around it, sometimes to knock it back, but we're there, you're kind of out the way, and it's brilliant.
Yeah, I've seen that when you moved across to Shieldfield Park, and it's just like, wow, that has gotten big just so quick.
Yeah. I mean, if I'd like to count how many people have walked through our doors over the last 24 or 23 months, because like I say, we're getting 24, 25, 26 regularly every and for a size of Berwick, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah.
And I will say this now, because we've had a lot of people came through the door at Andy's and they've came for one session and they've realised it's not for them.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's fine, because I so for years I didn't really understand what I needed, but now I do.
Yeah.
You know? And one of the things I need is to talk.
Yeah.
I just need to talk and get off my chest, release that energy, release that, not anger, but release that sort of tension.
Yeah.
Once I've done that, I feel better. I feel better now talking. You
Yeah,
know, it's bizarre.
It's what did they say before?
Yeah.
It's just like the first 2 minutes, and then after that, so when you start talking, it's just.
It has been said that I talk too much at times, a little bit too, but I don't think you can talk too much if it's making you feel better.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It's just like there's never such a thing as talking too much, pal.
So some of the guys who came along have been honest and said, "Look, I've tried it. It's not for me. It's not for me." So you send them away and say, "Look, brilliant. We're here for you if you want to come back, but please find something that is for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Please find something that works for you, because you need to get yourself into that position." And whatever that is, hopefully a couple of guys who've came along, just that one or twice, I've spoke to them away from it, and they're in a better place, and they thank, because Andy's kind of showed them something, but didn't show them everything that they needed, but it kind of sparked them to go and find what they needed. So that's brilliant.
That's it. I mean, that's a win in itself anyway, isn't it? Yeah. I was just going to ask there, obviously, when you've seen people outside, obviously, of Mandy's Hand Club, you have that possibility to talk as well. So even just having that, not even at the club, just knowing it, it destigmatizes your own paranoia.
So
per se.
So there is two situations with that. So within the group, confidentiality is huge.
Yeah,
it's massive. It's like the opposite of it's like Fight Club. You can't talk about what's said in Fight Club. We do want you to mention Andy's Man Club and spread the word, but once you're through that door, it's confidentiality.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's very big. We mention it at the beginning of every meeting. We reinforce it at the end of every meeting, because some of the stuff here is quite powerful and very personal at times.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the issue we have is, yes, when you're outside the club, by all means speak to somebody. However, it's very difficult if they're with a family member or a friend.
Exactly.
You can't say, "Oh, how's such and such," because you've talked about it on Monday.
Yeah.
For example, I was at KFC the other day picking up my daughter something, and one of the guys was in with a family member, and I nearly said, "Oh, how did you get on?" And I went,
aye,
and you just kind of acknowledge each other.
Yeah.
Now, if they want to talk to you and say this is what's happened, that's fine, because part of the confidentiality is some of the guys might come along that haven't told their family or friends that they're coming along.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm away for a pint. I'm walking the dog. I'm away to watch football somewhere, and they come and they do what they need to do on the Monday, and then they leave. So, but we do talk about away from the group. I have had conversations in the street. We've had conversations by phone. We've got a Facebook group as well, a close Facebook group for the group. So a lot of stuff is said on there as well. So conversations do happen away from the group.
Yes.
And
so it's just, like I say, that's just amazing. That just attending and then just knowing, and then the coming together and the resources that can be provided. They're just amazing, aren't they? So obviously we're up to obviously facilitating now in 2024. Obviously still at massive numbers, I take it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's 100 when I started with Andy's, if you give us a second, I'll just check something.
Yeah, of course.
Down here. When I first started with Andy's, the first day I facilitated, there was 103 clubs.
103 clubs.
So now there's 173, I think.
Wow, okay. Yeah.
So we've opened 70 clubs nationwide in the last 2 years, with one opening very local very shortly, which I'll come on to later on, which I'm very excited about.
And exactly. That's the big highlight. Just so for anybody that doesn't know, could you just let us know a little bit of the history of Andy's Man Club itself?
Not a problem at all. So Andy started in 2016, and it comes from a very sad story. A guy called Andy Roberts left home on the 5th of April 2016. It was a Tuesday. Normal guy, like we said, just a run-of-the-mill guy like us. He had a young daughter, 2 years old. He was 23. What triggered him to do this, nobody kind of knows, but he went away. He'd been speaking to these friends on WhatsApp about meeting up, playing football. He was looking to buy a house and sort of improve his life that way.
Yeah.
And sadly, he took his life on that Tuesday. And it was just devastating for his family.
Yeah.
No, I've experienced family and friends who've took their lives, and it's a horrendous. It's the worst thing I've ever experienced.
It's nothing normal. It's not a normal grieving procedure that goes with it.
No, it doesn't. And from my point of view, what I always thought was there something I could do? Was there something I could change? Should I have done this? And you always have that. You'll always have that regret within you.
Yeah,
and it just doesn't appear. So with that in mind, and going back to Andy, his brother Luke Ambler, who was a professional rugby league player at the time, and his mum Elaine, obviously they were talking and grieving and blah blah blah. And Luke came up with an idea of getting Andy's pals together in Halifax, just ask how they were getting on. Because of Andy's death, how were they feeling about it, and is there anything that's bothering them? So obviously with protocols, and he asked Andy's mum Elaine if it was okay if he started this club, and she was on board straight away. Yes. And from that, in July of 2016, they had the first meeting in Halifax.
Wow.
4th of July, and they didn't know what to expect, didn't know who would come through the door, they didn't know if it would be well received, they didn't know if it would work.
I was going to say, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Because 2016 is a long time ago in,
yes.
in mental health time.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And much like Berwick, 7, 8, 9 guys walked through the door. Yeah. And that's where it was born.
And then that's it.
And that's it from there. It just sort of grew arms and legs, and it kind of grew up initially around the sort of Halifax, Yorkshire, Lancashire area, because obviously groups here and a group there, and then it sort of sprung out nationwide. And yeah, that's where it came from. There is a, if you go onto YouTube, there is a story of Andy's Man Club which tells you all this as well, and it's part of a presentation that we facilitators from Berwick, as well as other groups, but the ones that when we go around businesses or community groups, we deliver the story as well. So that's where it came from, and everything. And obviously they thought of a name, and the first name I believe they thought of was Andy's Coffee Club,
right? Okay,
and they just didn't think that had the same oomph about it, and somebody came up with Andy's Man Club, and they went, yeah, we'll go with that. And that's what they went with. And the first sort of thing they thought of was talking. You need to talk. So they came up with the hashtag, it's okay to talk. And in 2016, 2017, I think it was one of the highest trending hashtags worldwide. Yeah,
it just took off.
It just took off crazily. So that's the basic story of where it started, where Andy's Man Club started.
Tragic. But
from tragedy came something so powerful.
That's it. I mean, it's changed so many lives.
It has,
It will. I mean, it's even knowing resources like that saves lives in itself.
Yeah.
We know and appreciate how fragile that low mental state can be sometimes, and how vulnerable we can feel. But like you say, just knowing that there is a possibility to go and talk and offload these feelings is like I bang on quite a bit. It's just normalising the conversation.
It is,
like we're doing right now. It's we should be open to talk about these things, and like it's something that I picked on up you said, and is, 2016 in mental health times is a long time ago, and even today, you're saying there's people that are be going there that might not even be telling their family members because of the stigmas.
Yeah.
They were so surrounded with.
I still remember back in 2015, I went to a party. It was a mate's birthday party. And I'd been quite vocal on Facebook before Andy's about my mood. I sort of started this one-man campaign in Berwick, which under the name of P&D Foundation, which still kind of runs. I do charity events with it, stuff like that, raising money for mental health sort of causes. Yeah. And I put something on. I remember on Facebook, I was, like I say, I talk too much at times. So I put this thing on about how I was feeling, and this is what I was going through. So if I do ignore you, if I do go quiet, please don't take offence. It's just, this is... And I can remember at the party, somebody came over and says, "Can I swear? Can I?"
Oh, yeah, you can swear.
What the fuck are you going to be depressed about?
Aye.
You know? What the fuck?
Fuck it. It's horrible, man.
And then it was the big one. Can you just fucking get a grip?
Aye.
And I went, wow.
It's just...
Wow. I went, bloody hell. and that still stays with us now.
Oh,
you know? It's still... But I do understand some people just don't understand mental health and negative mental health more than most. And if you don't understand it, just don't comment on it.
Except
that's my belief. But that kind of triggered me, and that was just before my episode, which I talked about earlier. That was just before that. So
I was going to say it's I said it on the podcast every week. It's so insulting, condescending.
Mm-hmm.
You've no idea. Like I think I've said it before. It's, to me, when people come out and exactly as you say, especially when they don't know, it's just it's putting a grenade out, putting it in the bed and thinking, you know.
I still think it was delivered in good faith,
a jovial manner. Yeah.
What you gonna be?
Aye, come on, man. Aye.
But it was quite. At the time, I remember. I still remember, and I was very cutting because I was in a really shitty place.
Yep.
You know.
I can relate badly to that. Like it's just. It's not nice. It's not nice at all. So obviously the hashtag it's okay to talk to off, but Andy's Man Club's also got a second hashtag as well.
It is.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So the other one is that one man.
Yep.
So that comes from the aim of the club is to help that one man, to help the one guy, to save that one life. Yeah. So doesn't matter how big Andy's get, how many clubs we get, how many members we get coming through the door, the attitude will always be the same. The one person that walks through that door is the most important man. So if we could sit there with 3 facilitators and one person, he would still get the same support as if we were sitting with a group of 40.
Yeah, amazing.
And it's all about helping that one man, giving him the belief that life can change, giving them the belief there's better times ahead, giving them a format to talk, giving them the sort of confidential, safe space that he can talk about whatever he wants to talk about. And we've got... I didn't really want to sort of blow our own trumpet at Berwick, but we have got a few guys who have been that one man, and they've improved unbelievably where they are now. Yeah. And John, our new facilitator, won't mind me saying this. He's one of the guys. He came through the door. He was on the floor. Yeah. He admits himself it wasn't for Andy's. He didn't think he'd be here now. Wow. Various situations going on in his life. If you know John, he talks more than me. But he's quite a... when he first came along, he was very angry, frustrated, confused, and just wanted a release. Yeah. And he's given that release. He gave him that ability to just pour that anger out.
Yep, that negative energy.
Verbally, as opposed to like punching walls or whatever he was doing. Mm-hmm. Probably still does, knowing John. But it just gave him that sort of platform to release. Yeah. And that's what it is about. So that one man comes from, as I said, doesn't matter how big we get, how many clubs we get, how many people walk through the door, the most important person is that one man. It's you. Yeah. So if it was you, Andrew, for us, you'd be the most important man. And then we'll go on to the next man. It's equally important. It doesn't matter how big we get, if we can save that one life.
Yeah. Sorry, tongue-tied. That must be really rewarding as well to see progress.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Knowing how low we can go.
I mean, it's very. We've got 2 or 3 guys who are obviously, because of confidentiality, can't be mentioned. No. John can because he's a facilitator. He's quite happy to talk about it. Yeah. But we have got 2, 3, 4 guys who you look at them and think, wow, how far have you came? Mike, the one joined me as a facilitator back in the day and he walked through the door. He admits himself he was in a terrible place, and one of his things is he was quite, maybe not isolated, but kept himself away from people and didn't like because of the way he was feeling. Now he does presentations. He's a facilitator. He started up a walking football group in Berwick. He's done all these things on the back of Andy's. Yeah. No, it's not us that's done it. It's Mike that's done it. Yeah. It's through his own belief in himself, his change, the confidence it gave him, and he's one of him and John, who now obviously facilitate. Just remarkable where they are now. It's
crazy. It's I'm gonna blow my own trumpet. It's the same as myself.
Oh yeah.
You get to this low point in your life that you think, I can't get any fucking lower than this. What makes me happy, and what can I do? And then when you get that feeling of reward and that self-nourishment, you just it's an addiction that grows because you don't want to be back down below where you can get back down to.
Well, I started listening to your podcast before I even spoke to you.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because I'm a great believer in community, local community, people stepping forward and doing something for the community. And then when I seen it, and it was I forget his name. Sorry, the guy from the gym.
Alan Bogle.
Yeah. So I seen that, and I put that, and I thought, wow, this is good. And then obviously, you got in touch and said, look, I'd like to do it. And I said, and I've listened to them ever since, even the broken chair one.
Even that. Don't make me laugh. Don't make me go back. No, it's funny.
But I'll just sort of finish off with it, with saying that one man. We have had the lowest of the lows within the club as well, where we lost a member, which hit the club very hard. And I don't want to dwell on it because it's personal. There's families out there, but and that kind of it was just a really hard time.
And again, though, the unity that shows after that is the togetherness yet again, though, and the fan club supports one another, which is fantastic. So obviously we've talked about what you can kind of expect and what you can walk through the door. So what can people in IMO expect coming in the future, Kev, if you'd like to?
So we sort of about maybe last summer we sort of mooted up an idea of iMouth start. So Andy's man club idea is we'd like to have a club within 30 miles of everybody. So you've got one local, and we find that. So, for example, guys who come to Berwick might not be from Berwick. They might be from that because they don't want to go to their local one. So you've got to have this sort of 30-mile sort of distance
target.
So obviously the most obvious one was Eyemouth because Dunbar's got one, North Berwick's got one, Edinburgh's got one. So Eyemouth was the missing place. So obviously John Ritchie's from Eyemouth. I've got family in Eyemouth. I know Eyemouth very well. So. It was an obvious place. So last summer we done a presentation down at the Rotary Club for them. It wasn't well represented, but it was 2 or 3 people there. We done a presentation, and we find that if you do a presentation, it might not be well represented, but the word gets out. And
that's it. People start talking.
Just throwing that,
dangling that carrot.
And that's what it is. And we put the feelers out, and there was a belief that Eyemouth would be a place that would benefit and want an Andy's Man Club. So the great news is that it starts on the 18th of March.
Brilliant.
Monday the 18th of March, which is 3-4 weeks away now.
Yep.
3 weeks away.
3 weeks, yep.
So the big thing for that is on the 14th of March, we have a pre-launch presentation night.
Oh, wow.
On the Thursday night beforehand.
You're right, okay.
So if anybody's thinking about going to Andy's Man Club and they're not sure what to expect, pop along to that. And that's open. I know Andy's Man Club is a man club, but
that's just open.
It's open to anybody.
Yeah.
Families.
Come and just talk.
Come along.
See what they do.
We do a presentation. There'll be Facilitator. I'm going to be there. The two new lads who are going to be doing iMouth, which I'll come on in a second, are going to be there, and another couple of facilitators from Berwick. So we'll do the presentation, question and answer session. We'll have a cup of coffee, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah. Oh,
so
wow.
I'm really looking forward.
14th of March.
Thursday the 14th of March.
I get back from Amsterdam that lunchtime, so I'll
come along.
I'll come along.
And the location of that is it's getting sort of addressed as the larder, if that makes sense in iMouth.
Yes, it does. Yeah,
I would call it the parish church hall.
Yes,
but I believe it's the larder, which is so that's where the club itself is going to be hosted in there on every Monday night, and then the presentation is there as well on Thursday at 7 o'clock.
It's Thursday at 7 o'clock, and it's the following Monday.
And the first one is the following Monday 18th. So, and the guys who'll be running that, one of them is an iMouth lad, Stuart Craig. I don't know if you'll know him or not.
The name just went straight off in the head, but now I'm just jiggling for that face.
So, I mean, Stuart came along to Berwick as a attendee.
Right, okay, yeah.
He works with myself and Hattie. We both work at Torness, and Stuart works there as well. Came along as an attendee. Again, he wanted to get stuff out there. He wanted to find out what Andy's was about and get some shit off his chest.
Yeah.
And Stuart's one of these guys who is the success story. He's now, he went, wow, Andy's for me, this is it for me.
This is it.
So he done a parachute jump not long ago in support of Andy's.
Yes.
And he's now talking about doing a wing walk, whatever that is. But
no.
No.
I'm on about doing a skydive later in the year. And somebody says to me, oh, well, if you do skydiving, can we do wind walking? Shane, if you're listening to this is you that I'm on about. I can't think of anything worse.
No. But I'm scared of heights, so like, I got up a ladder, does me.
Oh, you know? Same.
Yeah.
Virgo kicks us through.
So Stuart grabbed the sort of the nettle, Andy's Man Club, very early, loved it, said stuff in the groups which he'd never said before, got everything out, and then realised that Andy's was for him. And when we talked about iMouth, we put that note at anybody interested in being a facilitator in iMouth. Stuart, first one to put his hand up. Yeah. I will do that. And he's running with the sort of promotion of it. So there's also going to be something in the co-op in iMouth. Date to be confirmed. Yeah. There's going to be a Saturday morning where we're all going to be there. People coming in, ask a question, pick a card up, take a wristband.
That's it.
And that just gives them the key to the door.
That's it. I got the wristbands a while ago, and just honestly, see when you see somebody else with one of them, and it just gives you that.
I know.
Little smile inside your face there.
And the other guy involved in iMouth is a guy called Callum.
Okay,
who is, I believe he's from Dunsway.
Okay.
Again, an attendee in Berwick. Desperate to be facilitator because of what Andy's done for him and how it's changed his life. And jumped at the chance of putting a stamp on his own club in iMouth. So, and that's the beauty of Andy's as well. It's where the process is quite... Well, it is. It's very rigid. The process stick to the facilitators are allowed to put their own personalities within the group. Yeah, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's it. It just makes it more
personal. It's more personal and unique. Yeah. So it'll be Stuart and Callum will be opening the doors on the 18th of March.
Wow.
Supported by myself. If not myself, but another couple of facilitators from Berwick, just to give them that moral support. They're doing the the group, which is going to be their attendees on the night.
Yeah.
So
no, that's good. That's good. So, like I say, it's nice and soft, nice and personal, and just nice and easy. And that's the best steps that anybody can take, because we know how hard it is to take that first doctor's trip.
It is
terrifying.
And I think that's one of the beauties of Andy's, is that everybody who is a facilitator has taken that first step.
Yeah,
has taken that gulp of air and walked through that door, not knowing what to expect, not knowing who's going to be in there, and sort of that leap of faith. And Andy's given them something which they want to give back. And that's what it is, and that's how it grows. And it's as simple as that.
That's it. I mean, I'm off as well. I mean, obviously, absolutely no names will be dropped here, but like I know so many guys that suffer in silence. Well, not silence, but communal silence, so to speak. And just to have that availability, like you say, you wouldn't expect there to be a glutton of 100 people turn up on a first night, but that slow progress,
it's a slow burn.
That integration into the community, into society, just destigmatizes and normalizes.
I mean, and I'm trying to think what I'm trying to say here is, it is like a slow drip, a slow feed. But if there's anybody listening to this who are unsure about walking through that door, not knowing what to expect, what they will expect is a very warm welcome, a very friendly welcome, a no pressure welcome. And as much as Andy's a talking group, if you don't want to talk, that's fine. You can just come along. Listening to other people's stories gives you the strength to do something brilliant. If it's just about a friendship you need on a Monday, that's fine. You get a cup of tea and a biscuit. There's guys in that room who are in exactly the same position as you. They may have different issues. They may have different perspectives on life. They may have different things going on. Their shit may be different from yours, but they're there for the same reason, because they want to be in a better place. So if anybody's listening to this and they're worried about coming along, I'm quite happy to... I'm easy to find on Facebook. Just put Kev Bolton Andy's Man Club, I'll come up.
Very easy.
I'm easy to find. Just send us a message, and I can tell anybody what it's about. The group starts at 7. The doors open at 6:30, so you can actually come along, have a cuppa, have a biscuit, see what it's about. And even then, if you decide not to stay, you don't have to. You can just go. And there's no fee, there's no booking, there's no nothing. You just show up. Yeah, no commitment. No commitment. You know, you don't have to sign up for 6 months. You can come and go.
Come and go as you please.
Yeah,
that was a brilliant advertisement for it. And if there will be a lot of people listening that are a little bit unsure, they've probably been the same as many of us, that you'll see Andy's Man Club on social media and think, wow, that's amazing, but you know, how does it actually work? And you summed that up absolutely brilliantly there, Kev. Thanks.
Thank you.
Just away from Andy's Man Club, what's Kev Bolton and whatnot up to? You're a big Newcastle fan.
I am, yes. Well, I'll talk about Newcastle, but I'll also mention Andy's, which is...
Sorry.
No, it's fine, because what happened was, obviously me and my son go to the games, and we go to away games now and again.
Yeah.
And a lot of the lads, sort of my son's age, sort of late 20s, early 30s, I've had guys came up to us and said, "What's Andy's Man Club all about?"
Yeah.
I'm thinking, wow.
Yeah,
and that's,
you know, especially
which is brilliant, which is brilliant, you know, which is brilliant.
20 to 40 is that alpha pump.
Yeah.
This ain't wrong with me. And you try and, chauvinistically... So I think the stigma is slowly moving away, but it's still there though. Yeah. So mad Newcastle fan, have been my whole life. Whether that's something to shout about or not, I don't know. I'm a Liverpool fan.
Oh, well.
Unfortunate. But I will tell you one thing. My stag do. I went to a Newcastle game. It was Newcastle-Everton. You were 2-0 down at half-time, and it was in the Gallagher end. And I was lucky enough to have I think it was Shelby came on and changed the game. I remember that.
Perez scored, didn't he?
Was
it a hat-trick?
I think it was. It definitely got 2 anyway.
4-3, wasn't it?
But that is the 3-2.
3-2.
That is the loudest stadium I've ever been in.
It's loud, yeah.
Like Anfield. It's not that great. It's a Liverpool fan. I shouldn't say that on a podcast.
No.
But it was nothing on St James's Park.
I mean, I love going to the match. Always have done. I
Yeah.
took Tom since he was, I think his first match he was about 3 or 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So again, he took that mantle and ran with it.
Yeah.
Home and away.
Yeah.
He just loves it. So yeah, that's what I do. Big music fan as well.
Yeah.
Huge music fan.
Kind of bands?
Punk.
Punk, nice.
70s punk. That's where PND comes from. My Punk's Not Dead Foundation, you see.
Yes.
That's where I came from. I've actually just bought tickets. Well, not my mates just bought tickets. We're going over to Belfast to see Stiff Little Fingers,
Right, okay.
The Damned, and The Skids.
The Damned. Wow.
I'm not sure if you've heard of them, but
I've heard of the Damned.
Yeah.
The other two, sorry,
No?
are less than me.
oh wow.
Yeah, no. I'll get Spotify on later.
So that's in Belfast. So Stiff Little Fingers are a Belfast band.
Right, okay, yeah.
Formed in '77. So it's like it's no homecoming. They do it every year, but I've always wanted to go. So they call it the Punk Christmas. So I'm really looking forward. So that's in August. So with music in mind, and going back to Andy's as well, I've kind of organised music events to
You were
raise.
saying sorry at the start.
No, that's
different
fine.
events,
To raise, because obviously Andy's is a charity, but to raise funds. But to me, just as equally, if not more important, is to raise awareness.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 100%.
So the first time we raised, we had a hosted event was back in 2018, I think it was, in the Free Trade in Berwick upon Tweed.
Yep, okay.
We done a little music night. It was, you had to pay. Myself and my mate Ian DJ'd.
Nice.
So you had to pay £1 for if you wanted to hear a song.
That's smart.
Yeah. So I think we made 1,200 quid or something, which went to mind.
What?
Yeah, it was a lot of money. The problem was that the DJ deck crashed. We were halfway through, so I had to just eat on Spotify. Like the stuff. It was fine. It worked. And then obviously COVID hit. I had a big plan of doing a gig, and then we did a gig in it's a Radio Rooms now. Back in the day, I think it was 2019. I think it was just before COVID. Again, just raising money for charity and a bit of awareness. And then last year, myself and Ian organised a little mini. Wasn't a mini festival. There was 3 bands playing.
That's
which
brilliant.
was decent. It was called The Distant Echo, which is a lyric from a Jam song.
Right, okay.
Okay, so we'll call it that. Ian played it because he plays in his own at the Kennedy Detail, so he done a little solo set. We had Leatherette from Berwick. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Not heard
Local
of them, sorry.
young lads from Berwick, very, very good at what they're doing.
Yeah.
They wouldn't play for me now. They're stars now.
Are they on that?
Yeah,
they're on that. Oh,
yeah.
God.
And then a band from Dunbar, because obviously I work at Torness. I know the guys in Dunbar. A band called Setting Suns, who sort of punk, more tribute band, and phenomenal night.
I bet.
Place was rammed. We had a Northern Soul DJ playing, Michael Elliott. Made X amount of money, but more importantly, the awareness raised in that room that night for mental health, Andy's Man Club, and for looking after yourself.
Yeah.
And the support of people around you was just phenomenal.
That's what it's about. Like, obviously, I've done a couple of little quizzes, which are nice, low-key little events. But it's just the like you say, when you get people coming together for stuff like that, it just reinforces that, like we talked earlier, that unity, that togetherness, and that gives people like me and yourself so much confidence going forward. But that's do you play any instruments yourself?
No. Ian tried to show us the guitar, and that is just
not for you.
And I can't sing either.
No, don't get me started. I'm trying to learn, and it's not going well.
I just no, it's not for me. Maybe keyboards later on, but that's
definitely no. That's that's really cool.
But it's probably the time to say it, because I'm currently planning my Distant Echo 2024, which hopefully August, September. Nothing's confirmed yet, so got interest from a couple of DJs to play most of the sort of afternoon into the night, and then a band playing at night. Hopefully I'll be announcing stuff in the next month or two, but that looks like good, but it's just sort of nailing people down and people to say yes and no at the time.
If you need any to play, I can certainly point you in the right direction with a couple of bands no locally around here as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, I work with Stu Benny, who's in with Andrew IOD, I think they're called.
Yes, as Andrew Valentine.
Andrew Valentine, yeah. So I haven't said to Stu yet, but Stu, if you're available, I might
drop you a $5.
So there's that, yeah. So hopefully that's going to kick off again. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So you really are involved, like pretty much, even away from Andy's Man Club. There's still that still plays a massive part of your life outside of.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying right at the beginning. Like, you need to know what fires you, what makes you feel better, and what puts you in a better frame of mind. If I'm organising something, that's it. It kind of takes my attention. It makes us not think about the shit that's going on in my life, because everybody has shit in their life.
Yeah,
and it's just how you deal with it. So if I organise something, and that's one of the main reasons I do it. If I organise something with an end product, I'm happy. I'm happy.
Such the same as my kind of tunnel vision. Do you call it?
Yeah,
something like that. Like you know what you want, and it's just getting there, and then the reward at the end, the satisfaction is just like, it just feels so much better.
Yeah.
Oh, it's sorry.
No,
that creeped up on me there. No, that's absolutely incredible. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about just on Manly's Man Club specifically that we might have missed, Kev?
I mean, if you want us to talk about how it works when you're in the club,
So
it starts at 7:00 on a Monday night. It's every Monday night except the bank holiday.
Okay, yep.
Because some of the facilities are closed on a bank holiday. And we do it on a Monday because Monday is traditionally a time when people are at their lowest mood. The old Blue Monday situation. After the weekend, a few beers, and maybe fell out with a partner, just had a really shitty weekend. They're going back to work and they really don't want to go there and stuff like that. So it's a Monday, excuse me, 7:00, and doors open at 6:30. What to expect is when you're in there is you'll be welcomed by facilitators. You'll be made to feel welcome and comfortable. You got a cup of tea and a bickie, and then you'll sit down in a group, and we do it in a circle. Other groups can do it. So you sit in a sort of, we do it. Well, I explain what we do in Berwick. We sit in a circle, and the facilitator starts. He introduces himself, introduces the club, what it's all about, talking about the confidentiality side of it, which is massive again. Yeah. And then we go around and just introduce yourself. And there is you don't need to speak. If you don't want to introduce yourself, that's fine. Just pass the ball on. So we do it with the talk. Let's call it the talking football. Yeah. The talking ball. So it's a black ball with the white OK symbol on it. And when you've got the ball, it's your turn to talk. And we encourage people not to jump in and answer something that's being said, because if somebody's talking and they may be getting to the point where they want to really say something,
to get that release.
Somebody breaks that concentration, they just pass the ball on. So we do encourage sort of respect,
etiquette
and respect. So what happens then is we ask the first question, which is always the same: how's your week been? And you get, it's been shit, it's been great, it's been awful, it's been And then the second question: any positives from your week? You get loads of them. A lot of football ones come out. Liverpool got beat, or Newcastle won, or whatever.
Wait a minute.
And then the third question for me is always the most important. Is there anything you want to get off your chest? Yeah. And that kind of grows from some people really open up and say, yeah, fucking hell, it's shit. Yeah. Or some people say, no, there's nothing I want to get off my chest. Or the bins haven't been collected. Yeah. It's something as simple as that. Yeah. And then, but that is the most powerful question, number 3, because that's where you get the most of the interaction. And that's when we naturally stop for a break and a cuppa. So what happens then is it gives somebody the chance who's maybe poured something out to sort of galvanise herself and just sort of recover a bit, then go again. But also gives us the chance of somebody in the group, if they've been in the same position or they want to show a bit of support, hand on the shoulder, stand and have a biscuit with them, cup of tea, and just give them that little bit of friendship, support,
reassurance.
That reassurance, whatever word you want to use, that's what we do. And then we go back, and questions 4 and 5 are always different every week. So curveball. So I'll just open my book and I'll see
100%.
because I write them down. So for example, question 4 and the first time I was a facilitator was, where is your happy place and why?
Mine's is usually on the toilet when I'm on my phone.
That's fine.
That's quite a happy place for me.
Fine.
Just get time away. Yeah.
I think if I remember my answer, mine's was at St James's Park.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, because you're in there, you're not thinking, you're screaming, you're shouting, you're hurling abuse at somebody.
Yeah.
And then as you get that kind of release.
That release, yeah. My toilet. I don't know why I just said that.
And then the following week was, what is your fondest memory and why? And that triggers a lot of my wedding day, the day my kids was born, I was a child.
You just saying that, I'm thinking, right, what one am I picking?
Yeah. And that's where you get.
Yeah.
And question 5 was always a bit of a curveball question. So I remember the first night I went to Andy's back 2 years ago. The first question 5 I got was, how would you hang your toilet roll? Mullet or fringe? So fringe at the back, mullet at which is the correct way to hang it?
What was the correct way?
What, I'm asking you.
Oh, well, I would have mullet, I think.
Mullet, yeah. So that's the consensus is mullet, but a lot of people saying fringe. I'm thinking, no.
No, that's not.
And you see the debate you get from that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And then another question 5, who's the most interesting person you've ever met?
Oh, wow. So it really is just...
Yeah, it is. So they change every week.
Well, this is an interesting question that we can discuss, obviously, a little bit. And it's something that I really advocate is depression doesn't mean you have to be depressed by talking about it. You can talk about anything.
Yeah.
That can give you that little release, that little sentiment that just knowing that somebody that you're opposite is feeling the same way, but we're talking about it. Again, it just gives you that little bit of confidence in yourself that you're not alone in your own battle. I didn't know that. That's absolutely incredible.
So, and questions 4 and 5 are also designed to sort of send you away in a better frame of mind than you walked in the door.
Yeah.
And very few people remember what the highlight of your week was, but they'll remember what your shit was and how you hang your toilet roll. And it's weird. It just works. And it just works. So who is the most interesting person you've ever met?
Most interesting person I ever met, probably my wife.
Oh, yeah. I suppose you've got to say that.
Yeah, I have to be now. No. To be fair, well, if we're going really interesting, most interesting person I've ever met, I can't really say that. I was going to say Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, you can say that.
I didn't really meet him, though. Well, actually, he blanked me. Yeah.
Oh, did he?
I was up at a golf tournament up at St Andrews, and we'd waited out all day for Samuel L. Jackson. He's huge, by the way.
Is he?
Yeah, he's like 6'8" or something. Like, he's massive. And anyway, we'd waited all day, and he came up, and he was closer than what we are, right in front of me, and stopped. And I had my bloody paper there, waiting for the autograph. Me and my friend Darren, who only went there he hated golf, and Samuel L. Jackson, I'll be right back, and he never seen him again. So that was a potential interesting person. Never that. I don't really think I've met a lot of interest. Well, James Gaffney.
Oh yeah,
James Gaffney.
Yeah, well,
I was really taken away by that.
Yeah, I've spoken to James a few times and what he's doing in Berwick.
Again, incredible, isn't it?
This community thing of building something from your inner strength to help others, to bring others in, and it's just fun. I follow him on Facebook a lot, and I speak to him when I see him. I'll speak to him a lot.
It's the same message that I've been saying a lot recently as well. Is that there's opening up your eyes now to see that there's so many people that just want to make the world a better place, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's so fulfilling and rewarding.
I listened to your podcast with Sarah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I know who Sarah is. I've never really spoke to her. I say hi, and but I listened to her story. I'm fantastic.
Yeah, it just.
When I say fantastic, I mean the strength and the way she can talk about it, and and get that story and that message out there. It's the confidence. It's remarkable. And again,
say it over and over again, it gives you a lot more confidence in yourself to tackle your own issues. I know when we get into that really low state that we try and prevent it, it's it's at times impossibly hard to try and see the bright side, but it comes. It just, like I say, it does take a bit of time sometimes.
Well, strangely, I only found this out not long ago, but the black and white for the Andy's Man Club is designed for that. So the black is the mood you're in, the black mood you're in, and the white is designed for that little chink of light that's in your life.
That's so smart.
I didn't even know. I was watching a podcast with Luke.
Okay, yeah.
I was just watching it, and that's what he came out with. And obviously black and white, and it's but that's what it's for. And it's that little chink of light, that little hope that you've got that things are going to get better.
That's incredible. As I say, it's just the best. It's the most tragic, but it's just the best story as well.
Yeah,
that's now coming to light, and say, as you mentioned earlier, it is just getting huge.
It is, yeah.
And hopefully it will continue that way.
And part of the presentation is that, and like I've said before, if Andy's isn't for you, find something that is.
Yeah.
If you want to start your own club, start your own club.
Yeah.
Get as many people talking as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And get them to open up. And if anybody's listening to this and they're not in a great place, I've been there. I've been in that great. I still get in that really dark place, but luckily now I've got the support and the tools around us.
Network,
not everybody's that lucky, but if you are in that place, speak to someone. If you can't speak to your friends or your family, if you can't speak to work colleagues, speak to someone. If you can't speak to anybody, come to Andy's, and we will give you that. We will give you that platform to speak.
Offloading is so important.
It is. I can't. That is my thing. I need to offload, and I've said, people say I talk too much at times. That's what I probably do, but
no,
it gets me there, And it's not like I'm trying to think of the word to get off your chest, remove that stigma, whatever term you want to use. Just talk to someone. Just talk to someone.
That's it.
Because we've lost too many people, too many good people, and it's still going on now.
That's it. I mean, you know the statistics, and it's for an island of our size, it is just horrifying.
Oh yeah,
statistics. In the UK, luckily, there was a slight decline, I believe, last year, but that was a possible rare decline or something. But it's just
or potentially the word is actually the wheel's starting to turn the other way, and maybe the words are getting out there. There is support there for you as well, which is possible.
That's it. Time. Exactly. That's it. I mean, as you say, your analysis will back that up. That the more support networks that are getting put into community places are supporting them, are supporting that, which is the goal. And
we've both said it as we've both experienced that that heartache of suicide, and I've lost work colleagues, friends, family members from it, and it's something that you just never come back from.
No, well that's it. Like, you can't compare deaths. Grieving is subjective to every individual, but it is wholly different because you don't. The happy fond memories are harder to get back into, because as you say, there's that kind of regret of guilt that's aligned to suicide, unfortunately.
And I'll just to say again, if anybody is struggling and they need some kind of support, speak to someone. Speak to a friend, a family member. If not, come and speak to us. We will welcome you through that door, and we will try our bloody best to get you in a better place.
Well, just again then, Kevin, can you just clarify your Monday nights in Berwick upon Tweed?
Yep.
Shielfield Park.
Shielfield Park.
Is obviously home of Berwick Rangers.
Yep, that's
correct. And Thursday the 14th of March
is the
presentation night.
It's a pre-launch presentation night in the larder. Most people that will know where that is. And then the following Monday the 18th, we open in Eyemouth. Andy's opens in Eyemouth, and we in Berwick wish it every success. We will do everything we can to support it. We will push it. We will support it. We feel sort of connected to it because our attendees are going to be the facilitators. We'll work together, and it's fantastic.
Like I say, it's going to be there for anybody. Get yourselves along. Like you've said there, the importance of guys is get talking.
Get talking. It is, and that's the beauty. It's going to be there. We and there's another sort of saying that Andy's have come out where can't stop, won't stop.
Right,
and we can't stop, and we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop.
Yes.
And that's it. That's where we're going now. So from the 18th of March, it'll be open. If one person comes along, that's that one man.
Yeah.
That is it. That's that one man. Mm-hmm. He will get that support if there still is in the room. 20 people come along, exactly the same. Yeah. Exactly the same support. I'd love it to be in a situation where you have to move to a bigger facility.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that sounds awful. But
but it's true. That's a sign of growth. That's a sign. That's a sign that stigmas are coming away.
And all this bollocks about growing a pair or manning up or whatever people say, it's not.
No.
The most important thing is you.
Yeah.
If you're fine, your family and friends will see you're fine, and it'll resonate to them, and you're just in a better place. Yeah. You're just in a better place.
That's it. It's good. It can take you on a journey, and it'll really change your life.
Yeah. I'd really love it. I'd really love people from my mouth to be listening to this, to walk in that first day and to go on the journey I've been on. Yeah. I would love that.
And it's quite weird now, just talking to you, just seeing that your energy and your passion. And
it's
kind of weird knowing that is probably going to happen.
It will happen.
Someday.
It will happen.
And they won't even know it right now.
No. Yeah, exactly.
And it's that's a cool feeling. When we talk about mental health, that's not something that we can usually talk about.
No. I mean, and I still remember walking through the Northern View the first day. I didn't know what to expect. Before I went in, I took a big gulp. Mm-hmm. I walked through and I went, all right, here we go. And ever since that's it. And I want somebody to experience what I've been through. Yeah. I want more than one person, but I want that one man to experience it.
That's amazing. Kev, is anything, honestly, I've been a little bit blown away by just your passion. In this podcast has been absolutely incredible.
This is when I say I talk too much. I could talk for myself.
No, don't worry. Is there anything else that you'd like to specifically talk about during the podcast? Or are you happy that we've kind of covered?
I'm happy we've covered everything, and just I'd like you to keep doing the work you're doing,
because
it's these little community initiatives that make a bigger picture. Yeah. Yourself and these people talking, the wellness groups that are going on, the cold water swimming, the walking football that's coming up everywhere. All these little sort of groups are for somebody.
Yeah, they mean something.
And they mean something, and they're for somebody. So if Andy's not for you, cold water swim might be for you.
Yeah.
Walking football might be for you. A wellness group might be for you. Just keep, but for yourself, just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. It's fantastic. I listened to them. I've listened to all your podcasts twice because I was like, I'll be honest, I listened to it in the bath last night. I don't know if that's
good. Not weird. I listened to different podcasts in the bath.
I was fine, so I stuck it on. And again, your passion and your sort of drive for community and your drive to help people is, again, it's infectious. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you very much. Honestly, mate. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
No problem.
Obviously, a little bit of editing, and the quicker that we get this episode out, so people can hear, the better. So, obviously, behalf of myself, thank you for coming on, and thank you for talking so highly and intellectually about Andy's Man Club, its history, and what it can offer to people.
Thank you for inviting me. And one final thing, it's okay to talk.
It's okay to talk. Yeah, don't worry. Kev, thank you. So, and again, I'd love to have you on in the future.
Not a problem.
Anytime. See the updates.
And I know the other facilities will be probably open to coming.
Ideally, kind of just go off on a little tangent as they do. Ideally, eventually this year, the hope for the podcast is that I'm going to have 2 extra mic.
Oh yeah,
so we can have four-way discussions.
Perfect.
Brilliant way to get facilitators on and just to talk a little bit more as a group.
And we can get guys who've walked through Andy's in the worst place they've ever can imagine, and now they are flying. So
flying high,
and they can tell their story if they want to.
100%. That's brilliant.
Okay.
Kev, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Guys, this has been absolutely incredible. It's been a busy week for me, and I hope you're going to enjoy all the content that I managed to get out for you this week. But until next time, guys, thank you very much. This has been Andrew Willicks of the Borderline Podcast. Good night.